Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Justice Administration class, week number 2. In this particular week, we're going to be looking at accreditation. And wow, what's happened the past couple of weeks since the incident on January 6th has put the perspective of this class right to the forefront. It's all about policies, it's all about procedures, it's all about planning, all these things that we're going to be going on in this class. Unfortunately, we've had demonstrated right in front of us the good, the bad, and the ugly. The whole thing of planning for civil disobedience, for planning for crowd control, for planning for the use of force, for having tactical plans, having strategic plans, all those things come in place. In most situations, most of the agencies, particularly accredited agencies, and that's what we're going to be talking about in this here module, is all about accreditation. Most agencies that are accredited have what's known as an LEPC. It's a local emergency planning committee, and that local emergency planning committee has all kinds of situations presented before them. If you have what's called an unusual incident or an unusual activity, is that you have things in place so that you don't have to scramble. Is that you look at certain things that, do I need lighting? Do I need other types of equipment? Do I need a good planning committee goes down to the number of porta potties that you're going to need for the people who are participating in the incident. And we can see that some people were totally unprepared. Another thing about the local emergency planning is that you have contingency plans, you have partners, all those types of things there. So we'll be looking at that as we go along. But our main goal here in this particular class is that we're going to look at the fundamentals of accreditation. One thing that's happened with accreditation, we're going to talk to it a little bit here, is the fact that when the Governor Baker just recently signed the Police Reform Act, and one of the parts of the Police Reform Act is that you have to have policies and procedure in place for all different types of situations. So we're going to look at that. We're also going to look to the fact as to what accreditation does. Accreditation provides policies and procedures to run the whole department. We look at types of situations where you need things in place. In your particular activities that we're going to be doing, you're going to see all different types of policies and procedures as we go along here. Okay, accreditation applies for what's called standards. And in these standards, we have situations where we can look at different types of law enforcement standards. You have this in your files and on your assignment. Is that there are different lists of standards, and what happens is that we have what's called mandatory standards and other standards that you can apply to within accreditation. You'll see as you go through the different types of standards here that certain things, oath of office, legal authorities, compliance with constitutional rights, written directives, and we look at these things here with use of force, deadly force, warning shots, lethal weapons. All these things here came into place with the incidences that happened on January 6th. We can see down here in this 41.1.7 chokeholds. We're going to look very, very good at our next modules on use of force. This is something that came out of police reform and dealing with that both on a national and state level, being able to get effective and clear and open reports about use of force, about the types of weapons and the requirements when you carry a weapon, looking at all kinds of things with the leadership of an incident where you're dealing with those things there, looking at all those types of things dealing with. But as we look along here quickly, you'll be able to look at it yourself, that there's all kinds of things that happen if you have an accredited department. You have managed personnel and management, working conditions, collective bargaining, that's the unions, will be going on to that, documenting everything that you have, particularly with officer conduct, and dealing with that, officer complaints, looking at those things there, making sure that people are treated equally in the job environment, how you select and promote people. We're going to be looking at when somebody applies for a job, looking at at the application process and doing that, looking at training that goes on with that, looking at specialized type of trainings, responsibilities, looking at early intervention with a troubled employee. We're going to look at whether or not there's a policy and procedure for every type of equipment and vehicle that you have and other things. You look at that type of situation. Dealing with mental health issues, which is a real highlight nowadays in doing those things. Looking at how you manage your files. All these things here are part of looking at that. Looking at how a department is run. Having plans. Look at all those types of plans that you have to have for hazardous hazmat situations. Dealing with the media. They can be a friend or a foe on doing those type of things. How you procedure for looking at different types of enforcement. When and where you tow a car. Looking at all those types of things when you have training. Making sure that everybody, you go through proper inspections. Looking at the jail, if you have a jail within your within your unit. Looking at the different types of equipment that you're dealing with. All these things here goes for making sure that a department is running the way that it should. Having evidence and property so nothing is done with that. And then there's also a section of accreditation for campus, and this would affect you and us here on the campus, where we look at types of things that are particular to a different campus or university. And in doing that, we have situations like how to deal with different incidences. Here on campus, we have what's known as the Clery Act, that you'll know what's going on there. Part of your assignment is going to be going on to the websites of CLEAR, the Commission for Law Enforcement Agencies. You're going to look at the different resources. Currently, this is the gold standard with CLEAR. Currently, here in Massachusetts, the only people that are nationally accredited is the Massachusetts Trial Court Security System, the Danvers Police Department, of which I was the accreditation manager for many, many years, the Fall River Police Department, and the Newton Police Department. There's only 3 police departments that are nationally accredited. The town of Concord, Mass. Is in the accreditation process. The accreditation process for colleges and universities. The only nationally accredited for that is Northeastern University and University of Massachusetts Amherst. Now going over to the Massachusetts Police Accreditation Commission, one thing that the Police Reform Act has done is that we got off to a slow start. I was on one of the original commission's advisory board when the Massachusetts Police Accreditation was started. But now that we have 94 accredited departments out of the 252 cities and towns, we have 13 certified departments, and because of the new police reform bill, we now have 114 departments. So altogether, we have 221 departments now that are participating in the accreditation process. Now you say, what's the difference between Mass Accreditation and National Accreditation? Massachusetts Accreditation doesn't have as many standards, but it does focus in on the standards that deal with liability. And so we'll look at those things there. But one thing you're going to be doing, is you're going to look at the different programs. We have certified departments here. We look at this. If we go to any type of department here, you look at here. Obviously, I'm going to bring up the Danvers department, and then you'll be able to go on to the Danvers department website. What I'd like you to do is go into your own department area, if your department's on that list, to be able to look at your particular city and town and be able to go on to that and just take a look at your department. And so we look here at the Amesbury Police Department, just as a example how that works on. So just get a feel for what the departments, and you can sense and see that there are certain situations with the different departments. So what I like to move on with that is that you're going to have an exercise in your assignment module there, where you're going to explore and look at the philosophy of accreditation and the talking points where you can get your department to get into that thing. Your assignment is going to be to try to sell the accreditation process to your mayor and city council in doing that. And so by going into the two websites, the MassPAC and the CALEA websites, you should be able to get an understanding as to how you would make a good argument for getting into the accreditation process. This particular exercise will be worth 10 points. It has a due date, and that's on there. After the due date, I'm going to keep the assignments open. I know a lot of you people work, have families, other commitments, and all those types of things there. If you can get it in on time, you'll be able to get the full credit points on that. If not, there'll be a point or two taken off for late assignments. But please, please, please get those assignments in. It's so critical that you keep up with these things, and especially now and this time here where we have the opportunity to take the concepts of justice administration and apply them in real life situations with all the things that are going on. We're going to see how we're going to get a new attorney general. We're going to get a new department head of the Department of Homeland Security. We're going to get a new person that's going to be in charge of different types of law enforcement agencies, and we're going to get a new federal prosecutor here in Massachusetts. So all these things are going to add up to some really very real significant things, and things that we'll be able to weave into this class. Again, I hope you've all been safe and healthy out there. I am available anytime, text, email, even if you want to call, even if you want to do a Zoom. If you have a question, please, please, please let me know. Don't let things linger. Good luck on the assignment, and I hope that you'll get a good, firm understanding of what accreditation is all about and how it benefits a person that is going to be an administrator here. So take care and have a good week.